It's that time of the year where Toyota is gearing up to dominate Le Mans, but they managed to slip in a little teaser along the way. Let's get into this new GR sports car. All right, over at the Gazoo Racing, they showed their last 5 winning vehicles, which is just insane. They've just been kicking butt recently at Le Mans, but they're also going to show off the hydrogen-powered GR Corolla, which uses the 3-cylinder turbo that we see in the current GR Corolla and the GR Yaris, just with hydrogen tanks and running on hydrogen fuel. Then they had this image. And this is all that they had to say about it. And Gazoo Racing will hold a themed exhibition to promote tourism to Japan, which is sorely needed after COVID. And they'll introduce its technological development efforts towards realizing a carbon neutral society in Japan. But a concept car equipped with vehicle technologies that have been developed through numerous challenges in motorsports participation will be exhibited. To me, you can derive anything from that. It could be a plug-in. Like, honestly, the vehicle that comes to the mind first, it would be something like the Envision 74 in terms of the technology. It's a plug-in hybrid, so you have a large lithium-ion battery pack, but you also have a hydrogen fuel cell stack to provide longer range and additional power. So let's just look at the image here, because we won't have to wait long. This will be unveiled probably June 9th or June 10th. And so this is the image before being brightened up. All right. We just see a lot of lights here at the bottom. Now, if we go to the brightened image, unfortunately, we don't have the highest quality of image here, but you see these little aerodynamic piece fins coming off the front of the bumper. You have that Gazoo Racing badge here at the front and a large grille down at the bottom, and possibly another grille here at the top. Okay, I think I have just discovered something. Well, maybe it's wishful thinking, but check out the front end of this vehicle. It has this very familiar front end to the Prius. This could be, guys, a precursor to the GR Prius that we've been dreaming of, a high-performance plug-in hybrid. Is it possible? Well, it's absolutely possible. And the reason why I'm saying this, because look at this general design of the front end here. I think it has this looks obviously more like sculpted, more angular, and this is more smoothed out. And unfortunately in America, we'll have a license plate bracket that just like is a brick in the front, which just drives me crazy, but you got to live with it. I honestly think this is the first look at a GR Prius. I didn't think we would actually ever get one, and maybe it's me making something out of nothing, but you know, it doesn't mean this vehicle is coming. It could just be a representation of technology, but man, would it be a kick in the pants if Toyota's like, yeah, you know, we played around with different powertrains in the Prius and gave it the GR badge, but we're not going to give it to you. So I don't want to get my hopes up for it. And the fog lights are in the same area as the fog lights here on the new 5th generation Prius. So guys, what do you think? Do you think I'm making something out of nothing? Do you think this is the GR Prius we've been dreaming of? It is absolutely possible. And this is funny because this comes a day after I was making a video on the new CHR. And the new CHR was being thrown around the Nürburgring, which is quite strange. But the CHR, the new one, is really just a lifted and different looking Prius. It has the same powertrains. It's on the same platform. I mean, I've theorized about a GR Prius before, and it would take the 2-liter M28 engine, and we would get maybe a smaller battery pack, but it's really hard to say. I mean, you don't want too much weight in it. And I think the current battery pack could be fine as well, but maybe you make it a little bit smaller so you could stick an electric motor in the back, so you give it all-wheel drive. And with only 9 kilowatt battery, your range would probably be down to 25 miles instead of like 45 miles. But the dream situation, all-wheel drive, over 250 horsepower, it would be incredible. We know we have a 40 horsepower electric motor that we already currently see in the all-wheel drive Prius as well as the all-wheel drive Corolla, but they could put something bigger back there. Maybe not something as powerful as the 107 horsepower e-axle that we see in the Grand Highlander now in the i4 or the Hybrid Max or the RX 500h. I don't think we'll see that sort of size of e-motor back here, but anything's possible at this point. Remember, it's a concept. They could be throwing the kitchen sink. It could run on hydrogen. It could run on E85. It could run on gasoline. Maybe it runs on multiple different fuel types. I'll see you guys down below what you would think of a GR Prius. I can't believe, well, here's the thing. I shouldn't get my hopes up. It doesn't, even though it looks like a Prius, maybe it's not, but I don't know, guys. I think the writing is there on the wall. There's a couple other things I wanted to go over real quick before I let you go. So Hyundai has just established a joint venture with LG Energy in Savannah, Georgia, right next to where they're building their EV manufacturing plant. So this is going to cost over $4 billion. It's going to be a 50-50 share between Hyundai and LG, and they're going to produce 30 gigawatt hours. Now, they say in the press release capable of 300,000 EVs. That's assuming the EVs are having battery packs of 100 kilowatt hours, which is pretty damn big. Now, maybe they're planning on making LG Energy Solutions the provider of their 3-row crossovers like the EV9 and Ioniq 7. So maybe that's a possibility where they need large battery packs, and maybe they could be supplying some Genesis models that would also require large battery packs. But 100 kilowatt hours is massive. Now, there are examples of larger battery packs out there, and maybe it's the average. Maybe they'll stick a 115 kilowatt hour battery in the EV9, for example, one day, and maybe around 75 kilowatt hours for their smaller vehicles, like, the Ioniq 5, for example. Construction will start in the second half of 2023 and production at the end of 2025 at the earliest. In 2021, both had started construction of the Indonesia battery cell joint venture, which is set to start production in the first half of 2024. LG's already provided batteries for many of their vehicles, including the Elantra Hybrid, Kona Electric, Ioniq 6. And going to automotive news here, Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz says customers would pay for a richer mix. Hyundai's pretty pissed off that they lost their EV tax credits. I completely agree. Everyone got blindsided by them unless you're an American automaker. So what does this richer mix mean? Well, this is a question that was asked to Jose. The market has been inching toward ever higher transaction prices. If we enter into a recession, might the industry see the trend reverse where people opt for lower priced cars? He says, so far, we haven't seen that. He says customers are accepting the higher price trends and they continue to finance at higher fees to purchase and lease vehicles. He says he doesn't believe it's an alarming trend that prices have continued to go up. And he says people like paying for the extra features in the car. Here's the thing. We're getting to the point where the average vehicle price is around $50,000. That is absolutely insane. And I know the manufacturers love that because they can make more money per car. There's just a lot of uncertainty with how fast vehicles have gotten expensive, and the average consumer's income has not risen to meet that. So it will be interesting to say the least. I absolutely think we could see a reverse in trend, at least in the regards, maybe not a sticker price, but of dealers having to deal under MSRP. It's already going on. I'm seeing vehicles $5,000 to $10,000 under sticker price, depending on the vehicle, right? Some are still well above that, but it depends on the car. Like Mitsubishi Outlander, I've seen that for like $6,000 off. I've seen the Volvo C40s $10,000 off. So like there's deals to be had out there already, and things haven't gotten bad yet. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but everyone's saying things are going to get a bit hairy in the later part of this year, but we will see. Time will tell. Of course, I don't want that to happen. I want everyone to be prosperous and live long and have a great life. Anyways, last article here, and this one surprised me quite a bit. Ford's EVs will connect to 12,000 Tesla superchargers. Starting in 2025, Ford EVs will be built with Tesla's North American charging standard ports, removing the need for an adapter. They won't be putting in CCS charging, which is like pretty much the universal charging port. And it's really strange because I believe in Europe, Tesla superchargers have CCS. I could be wrong on that, but now we're having a double standard war in terms of EV charging. You're going to have CCS chargers growing and multiplying, and then you're going to have Tesla as well as Ford making North American charging ports only on their cars. And it's a bit strange Tesla's doing this, but it makes sense from a monetary standpoint. They don't have to modify their chargers as much in theory to accept more cars coming on their network, and they get more customers to charge for their overpriced electricity. And this access starts next spring. Tesla operates about 17,000 superchargers in the US, so Ford will have access to the majority. The great Elon Musk on Twitter said he's super happy to support Ford in this, and he has tremendous amounts of respect for Ford as a company. It makes great vehicles. Ford and Tesla around the campfire singing Kumbaya at this point. Now, you might be saying, Kirk, didn't Tesla already open up their superchargers? Sort of. So it is only committed to opening up 3,500 current and future superchargers for non-Tesla EVs. Tesla looks to be providing these charging ports in their vehicles for Ford, and he's going to give them a deal. It's only going to cost hundreds of dollars. And here's the sketchy bit. And it's almost like Ford's giving the middle finger to their current third-party deal of 84,000 chargers and 10,000 fast chargers. They don't know if Ford's upcoming EVs will work with them in 2025. And it looks like a Ford spokesperson said that third-party charging stations would eventually offer plugs that would connect to NACS ports, which is a Tesla port, but doesn't know who's going to pay for it. But overall, I think it's a smart decision from Ford to work with Tesla to plug into the best EV charging network in the world. So bravo Ford, bravo Tesla for making this work. And man, it's going to be a bit messy. You're going to have cars essentially with a USB-C charging port, and then cars with the Thunderbolt port from Apple. So you have this Tesla/Apple standard, and then you have an open standard of CCS. So it's almost like having two separate gas stations, one for just diesel vehicles and then one for gasoline vehicles, because they don't intermix. You can't charge your vehicle with the wrong charging connector. So it's going to get a bit messy out there, and I'm just going to wait it out until I get my first EV for a while. Plug-in hybrid for me is the ultimate vehicle at this point in time. You have the best of both worlds. Sometimes some people say the worst of each world, but come on. But I gotta cut myself off. Can't wait to see your thoughts about the GR Prius, or what that vehicle is being teased. But man, it looks like a Prius to me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day and peace.